What's going on, Paisanos? V here. Come on, you guys. Well, with another market watch today. Common question of the day. Have you bought any Ghosts in the Past, and what is it? I think there's a lot of good cards in this set, despite the fact that the value is just atrocious. And I think there's definitely a lot of cards that have potential to go up in value in the future. We covered it on previous market watches, and we'll talk about a little bit about it here today, as well as a bunch of other cards. If you guys new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe button, like button, and comment down below. If you guys want to check me out on Twitch, I play Shaddoll and Invoked right now. I'm looking to try some other decks maybe in the future, but that is my baby. In fact, I think it's the best deck in the format. And you can check me out on Twitch, links will be down below as well. Okay, so looking at Dragoon Remus, it's the most expensive card out of Ghosts in the Past, and it's $19. Now, I don't know what to really tell you other than the fact that this set definitely doesn't have the good front-end value, but it definitely has good back-end value, good future value. Also, I think with Blazing Vortex and with Ghosts in the Past, I don't think it can get any worse as far as the set's Konami releases. Meaning, like, value-wise. Meaning, height-wise. Meaning, once again, front-end value. The first value we're going to see when a set first drops in the market. And I do think it's inevitable that we're going to be seeing good reprints. And we have to, right? No, for real, right? I think Ghosts in the Past absolutely showed us the bottom of the barrel, despite the fact of having beautiful-looking Ghost Rare cards. Good luck pulling them, by the way. Looking at some of the cards in Ghosts in the Past, I think Neo Shaddoll Genius is a decent Shaddoll monster. I get this question asked a lot to me because I play in Shaddoll Invoked, and a lot of people ask me, am I going to play Genius? No, not really. I like Neo Shaddoll Hollow more. That card's like $2. Now, actually, if I just checked the market on it, now it's starting to rise almost near $4 for Hollow. I think that card's a little bit better than Genius, but then again, they're both, at the end of the day, decent Shaddoll cards. They're not amazing. They're not broken. We're not talking levels of Skomata. We're not talking Wendy. We're not talking Ariel. They're just decent cards. And I do think Genius is a decent card when your opponent has an established board state. But if you're playing Shadolls, do you really want your opponent to have an established board state? I don't know. It's a really hard situation. I think with Hollow, it's not bad. Also, the fact that it has 2900 defense. Also, the fact that you can flip it the same turn you send it. Well, with the Shaddoll card. Listen, I'll say the rest of that on my live streams. Go ahead and check out my live streams. On my live stream on Twitch. I'll go over the plays with you guys if you are interested in the other reasons. Looking at the rest of the cards, though, I will say the deck cores is something I'm really interested in. I'm not too crazy about Starry Night, but I did buy Sunvine, Sun Avalon, Sunseeds, whatever you want to call it, the new plant art type out of Ghosts in the Past. I think it's really good. I think it has a lot of room for potential. And I'm going to definitely be building it, playtesting it, and showing it to you guys here on this channel. Look at the rest of the other cards, like Heretic Seal, Heavenly Spirits. It's currently $3. Can this card go up in value in the future? I think it can. I think it definitely has potential. E-Telly, I said this before, I'll say it again, is one of the most undervalued cards in Ghosts in the Past, as well as like Fan Night Fogblade, another crazy undervalued card. And I think these cards are really cheap right now. Wait till they're like, once again, they're getting to the point where they're $1, $2, because if you're looking to buy like 9 of these, RO9, they're gonna stack up. So why would you go ahead and buy this now? Don't just wait a little bit more. More is gonna get dumped in the market, and then you go in like a sniper and you grab those cards. So, like I said before about Shadolls, I think Shadolls is definitely one of the best decks of meta, and it's getting more expensive to buy Shadolls. If you're looking to buy the structure decks coming out of Structure Deck Showdown, let me just take away some of these real quickly. They're roughly around $25 to $30. If you're looking to buy, and that's the first edition version, by the way. If you're looking to buy the unlimited version of the deck, no big deal. That's still $30 for this structure deck. It's a bit of a letdown for a lot of players who are looking to play into Shaddoll, so that you might want to buy the singles directly. The only card you really need to buy is like Wendy. You need to buy an App Cologne, and you need to buy one Ariel, and then you basically can have full reign as far as what to build with Shadolls. Unfortunately, you still are going to need to buy Schism, and that card's roughly around $42. Hopefully, we'll see an announcement of reprint soon, in which this card can be easy to get. I know a lot of players are looking to play the deck, but this does make them not want to play the deck, and I get that. Look at another card in case you're looking to play the Invoked variant Shaddoll, or Invocation in general, because Invocation and Invoked is just such a good deck. You know, with a lot of other things, especially with like Mech Knights. We're seeing it with, obviously with Shadolls. We're seeing it with Ellic. Invoked is just going all over the place because it really is a good deck. And I'm shocked it's been around this long. The prices of Invoked cards are rising. With this lowest version being Super Rare Invocation Nationals of Valhalla, this version is roughly around $43 to $44 for a Super Rare. If you're looking to buy the Secret Rares, they're teetering around the $55 to $58 mark. And the Ultimate Rare versions of Invocation, that's roughly around almost near $170. The ulti invocations. Yikes. Okay, so let's talk about Starlight Rares for a second. Because looking at the Starlight Rare market, we can see cards like Appaloosa Bowl of the Goddess starting to hit near its first the first stimmy check in the market is what we're seeing Appaloosa Bowl of the Goddess get near. At one point, this card went as high as $2,000. And looking in the market right now, well, there's one listed for $1,350. And then immediately after that, it goes back to stimmy check edition 1 status, version 1 status, in which this card is $2,000 again. Is Appaloosa seeing a lot of play? Depending on the deck you play. Some decks will definitely see play. Some decks it's a choice where they want to see it play, and some decks that you just can't play because you just can't fit it in. Look at IP Masquerena. Once again, this card is at that price point. IP Masquerena cooled back down to 400 after the first stimmy dropped, and then now it's going back up again when its current market price is $742. The value of this card is roughly around $800. By the way, after that one sold, it goes to $900. So the question is, and it has to be asked, what is happening with these Starlight Rares? Well, the answer is very simple. When people got the first version, Stimmy 1.0, everyone went crazy and bought the most expensive card at the time, which was Starlight Rares like Appaloosa, IP Masquerena. They just went crazy with them, silly with it. And for the most part, after a while, they quickly sold it when the prices spiked. You buy a card for $800, it goes to $2,000. It's almost a no-brainer what you do with that with that card. You sell it. You sell it and make a ton of money. Congrats to everyone who did that. For a lot of people, they also held it. I held mine. I know a lot of other players held theirs. And now we're seeing it being brought out again. But there's no Stimmy V3, is there? No, there isn't. What we're seeing is a lot of people go ahead and buy these cards and hold them, knowing that they're going to have money. So I know people are going to say right now in the comment section down below, you're going to say, V, I like Ghost Rares, I like Ultima Rares. That's fine. I personally like Ultima Rares a lot. I love Ultima Rares more than all these cards. But with that said, you have to acknowledge what is hard to get and what holds most value. And right now, the newest hard to get holds most value is definitely going to be in the Starlight Rares. Could this be unique towards cards like Appaloosa and IP Masquerena? I don't think so. Looking at Dogmatic Ecclesia, there's only 7 listings on the market for the Starlight version of this card. Now, the market price hasn't changed exponentially, but it did held a $420 market price, and it is roughly around $500. It stays there for a decent amount of time before it goes to almost near $700, and then $1,500 for Ecclesia. Can it go to that price point? That's a good question. I have zero idea. Look at cards like my favorite card in the game right now, Starlight Retro Protected Talent, with a $420 market price. This card is still roughly around $440 to $450 a copy. Now, some of you might go, V, that's a lot of money. I get that, and you're right, it's a ton of money. The thing is, what I'm trying to show you guys is the fact that Triple Attack Talent has not changed in price. It stood at that price point. So, like I said before, a long time ago, you guys might have heard me say, if you've been watching my market watches for a while, I'll say right now, the reason why we're seeing Starlights like Appaloosa and Masquerena be so insanely high in value, it's very simple. It's because these are extra deck monsters, just like Star's Dragon is an extra deck monster, and that's why it's holding a lot of value. This is the first version of it to come out, so this is like Star's Dragon, this is like Black Rose Dragon, and therefore these are the big money cards. In the future, way in the future, we're gonna look at all these Starlight Rares again, and I guarantee you, we will still see Appaloosa be the most expensive card, quickly followed by IP Masquerena. And you know what? I'm not even joking you. I think Zeus might be spiking up in value and might be making its way up there. Right now, the Wind Charmer variant is roughly around $620. But looking at Starlight Zeus with 12 listings, this card right now is roughly around $442. Which, once again, we're talking a ton of money for cards. And I get that. I know you're going to say, V, these cards are insanely expensive. And you're right. You're right. These are insanely expensive. But for those who own them, or those who are looking to buy into this market, which is already an insane market, I think we can all agree on that, it's not going to cool down anytime soon. No YuGiOh player is going to sit there and go, you know what? I think all of us, 30 of us sitting in this room, should individually list and be competitive with each other on prices of Starlight Rare, Appaloosa Bowl of the Goddess. This is not going to happen. The only reason it happened the first time with the Stimmy is because literally everyone was like, 800, 800, 800. They looked down and said 2,000, and they said, okay, I'll sell for 2,000. I'll wait for it to go back down. And it did. Well, kind of, not really. But looking at Starlight Rare Appaloosa, I think this card is going to be cleaning up the market. And I think a lot of other Starlight Rares will eventually follow. It's going to be the extra deck versions first. And then maybe we can talk about other cards like spells like Lightning Storm, Prosperity, Talent, Ecclesia. Valor? I don't know. But what I do know is like those two are gone. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zeus is right behind them. Can we talk about the Megatins for a second. Megatin talks are in the air. It obviously got pushed a month back. We used to get a Megatin in August. This year we're getting a Megatin in September. Some people are excited about it because they'll have a little more time to save more money. Some people are not a big fan of it because they have to wait longer. I get that. Nevertheless, looking at the Megatins, I do think that Megatins are definitely really still really good. And the fact that we still are getting them is something that we should be pretty excited about. Even though the fact we're doing an extra month, hey, as long as they come out good and not bent it up like Ghost in the Past Secret Rares or Ghost Rares, I'm totally fine with the Megatins. Now, the question is, what gets reprinted? It's a big question. Because whatever gets reprinted should ideally, theoretically, go down in value, right? Kinda. We'll talk about more of that in a second. So, obviously, Forbidden Drop is going to get reprinted as an Ultra Rare in the OTS pack coming out in soon. I think it's like a couple of months. Does that mean it won't get reprinted in Megatins? No, it doesn't. In fact, we can tell them Ghost in the Past, Konami has no problem on releasing a card as an Ultra Rare and then subsequently reprinting it as an Ultra Rare. We might have a Forbidden Droplet reprint even before then as a Secret Rare or Super Rare or whatever, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So I don't think Forbidden Droplet is not. I don't think Forbidden Droplet is not getting a reprint because once again we're gonna have the same problem. Hold on, let me go back over here. We're gonna have the same problem with Black Closer Soldier Chaos. In case you guys don't know, the Ghost Rare version of Black Closer Soldier Chaos was announced. The Secret Rare obviously tanked in value. It did, right? Looking at the Ghost Rare version of this card, it's roughly around $400 right now, which is still pretty crazy if you think about it. $400 on this card. And when you go to Secret Rare thinking it went down in value because it used to be around 90, no. With the announcement of Black Closer Soldier Ghost Rare, the value of the Secret Rare tanked down to roughly around 80. Looking at it right now, it's roughly around $130 a copy. It went up in value. Why is that? Because how easy it is for you to get Ghost. Cool. If you can't spend that crazy amount of money on Ghost, what do you by default have to get? The Secret Rare. You see what I'm saying? So the Secret Rare went up in value because everyone's like, you can't get Ghost? Cool. I'll say the Secret Rare higher than what it was, even when it was announced that a Ghost Rare was coming out. So going over here and looking at Forbidden Droplet, I think Konami will 100% reprint this card. It just makes sense. The only question is when will it be in the Megatins, and will it be before the Megatins? Looking at other cards that desperately need a reprint, obviously in the Day's Tournament hitting $90 is insane. Triple Attack Talent has been due for reprint forever. Ice Dragon Prison is going back up. It's roughly around $65 and it's not cooling off. I just mentioned before earlier, we need Schism. Rise of Duels has been such a huge set because it had so much huge value in this set, and every set has been subsequently afterwards just less and less valuable. I think whenever we hear about the Megatins, we specifically want to hear what are we reprinting in Rise of the Duelist, and that's a great question. I mean, we might even see subsets like Secret Slayers be in the Megatins. Konami did it last year with a subset. They might do it this year with a subset. So anybody out there that's looking at Eldritch and don't want to get the gold rare, I don't blame you, and the Secret Rare is too expensive, there's a good opportunity we might see Eldritch reprints or any other reprints that are from Secret Slayers in here. Could it be specifically Secret Slayers? I wish we were that lucky. No. But there's a good chance we might see a subset be in Megatins. And if Konami really wants to sell it, which I think they're going to when you want to push it crazily, because that's when they reprint everything. So everybody gets the ability to play Yu-Gi-Oh! At, well, dirt cheap prices. We're going to see people go ahead and, maybe look at Secret Slayers as a potential for a reprint. Anyway, look at Secret Slayers, by the way. The booster box of Secret Slayers used to be roughly around, I think it was $80 or $90. I bought, I think, 2 German boxes, because they were selling German boxes at one point. Now the boxes are roughly around $247 each. And that's it. That's all the boxes online right now. But at one point, these were like roughly around 80, which was insane. Look at Secret Slayers, and the reason why I think this set is going to be reprinted eventually, and might be reprinted on the Megatins, is because we got cards like Curse Ellen, which was a super rare in Secret Slayers, and the card's now roughly around $32. If you're looking to play Eldritch, you need 3 of these. You can say, V, I'm not buying the Secret Rare Gold Lord, I'll buy the gold, maximum gold, whatever version, for like $5. Alright, cool. You're still going to get banged on the Cursed Elens. That's still going to happen. You might consider needing an Elixir Black Awakening of $24. And you're definitely going to need the Elix Trap cards like Conquistador being 3s, Elix being 3s, Hakueto being 2s. Like, you're still going to need these cards. You want to play Emancipators? Cool, $37. $37. Who's playing this card? But it's $37. It doesn't matter who's playing this card. This is why I think this set is going to get reprinted in Megatins. Can it? It better. If it doesn't, the price is going to go insane. It's specifically for cards like Cursed Ellen. Lightning Storm Additional Sword is a card that's insanely overpriced right now. With $115 value, the limits are at $110, but and if you want a first edition versions, they're roughly around, well, that's a low seller. Let's see, they're roughly around $118. So what's happening with this card? Why do I feel like not everybody needs Lightning Storm? Well, because not everyone does. Let me explain. If you're looking to play Lightning Storms, why not play Twin Twisters? And the reason why I think you should play that card over Lightning Storms is because Twin Twisters is really good against prank kids. During the standby phase, you Twin Twisters the back row, they can fusion summon because they can only activate Pandemonium during the main phase. You win the game for the most part, depending on the deck you play, of course. Against Shaddolls, you Twin Twisters your Schism. There it goes right there. Now they can activate a Show Schism during your main phase due to the fact that Show Schism can only be activated during main phase. Even though Lightning Storm is a great card, we also have access to a new card. Well, new card it just recently came out, but Evenly Match, which is an insanely good card against Ellic. Ellic has a bunch of back row with a Golden Lord on board. Cool, put him in Evenly Match. What do you want to keep, the Golden Lord or the back row? Because you can't keep both. And I think Evenly Match, Twin Twisters, maybe even Cosmic Cyclone if you have the room for it. These are great cards. I'm not saying Lightning Storm isn't a great card, but if I had to choose, I would choose those over Lightning Storms. I think Lightning Storm is a phenomenal card, and eventually the meta is going to call for this card to come back in and see play. It's inevitable. But is it right now? I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think about this card in the comment section down below. So, we talked about all these cards that definitely are potential for getting reprinted in the Megatins. But one thing everyone kind of forgets about every year of the Megatins is what is not reprinted. Leisure Main did not get a Megatin reprint. The Secret Rare Cybernetic Horizon at one point was roughly around $1. $1. You can easily buy a ton of these online for $1. Ledger Main, Ledger D Main, whatever, with a $5 market price. The unlimited version right now roughly around $7.50, and if you want a first version, that's near $10 for this card. The reason I'm specifically pointing out this card, and there's other cards in Megatins, by the way, there's tons of other cards in Megatins that they didn't reprint, and the card subsequently spiked upwards, is because that's what happens. That's the trend. Whether this card's good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. If it's only available in the Megatins, I mean, it's only available in its core set, and the Megatins go right over it, while printing everything else around it, these cards will hold good value. And I think a lot of players every year kind of missed a beat on that. Don't do it this year. With 21 Megatins, the question shouldn't be what is reprinted as much as it should be what is not reprinted from those core sets. Because if it's not reprinted there as an ultra rare or as a secret rare, I don't know about you guys, but I'm buying a lot of them. Just like I bought a lot of this card and a bunch of other cards that did not get a reprint. Looking at 2020 Megatins, someone's probably going to ask me, V, do I buy sealed 2020 Megatins? And I just... It's just getting tiring at this point. But I know it's going to be a question. I know it's going to be a question. And I know someone's going to go to me. How much sealed should I buy, V? It's inevitable. It happens every sealed set. Like, every sealed set. Konami could really release a McDonald's YuGiOh pack filled with commons of reprints that nobody likes. And people are going to be going there going, V, is value? Value? With the two fingers? Is it one or two fingers? Value? Listen. Do not buy sealed Megatins 2021. Don't do it! It's not worth it. Ask everybody who just bought Ghost on the Pass, is buying sealed worth it? I'm pretty sure they're going to agree with me in the fact that buying sealed is just not worth it. Let me explain this to you real simply. Let's say rewind the time, you decide to buy 2020 Megatins. You spent a ton of money. You bought a ton of sealed. You have 50, 60, 80 cases coming to you, and you're feeling good. You're firing up that TCG player. You have your Dymo label reader up to the side. You got envelopes for days, top loaders, your team bags. You're looking good, feeling good. You got it ready to open, sort, and sell. You're pumped. Cool. Can you pre-sell? No? Okay. So immediately, the amount of value you're going to get subsequently drops heavily. Okay, that's number one. Number two, how fast you have to sell this? How fast do you have to sell this to recoup your initial investment? Let's say you invested $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. How fast do you have to unload this? Will you sit on this? Will you be okay with sitting on Megatins for about a year? No, more than likely not. Even though people do buy in the Megatins, people rarely fully invest in the Megatins. It's buy to flip, and that's the thing that a lot of players are doing. And we're seeing more and more people doing that as we're seeing the secondary market just on day one of releases, prices just tank heavily, in which they really shouldn't be doing that. They've never done that in the past, but they're doing it more and more as more people are buying sealed idiotically. Let me explain. Unless you're a store, you have access to a TCG player account that can let you pre-sell cards, okay, specifically that, you are more than likely wasting money whenever you buy sealed. Once again, store or pre-sell, okay? If you bought a ton of this product on the release of the 2020 Megatins, you would have had to sell this. Meaning, Red Structure Goon, when it came out, was roughly around, what, like 40, 50 bucks? You would have had to sell this immediately. Pot of Extravagance was way less than it is now. You would have had to sell that immediately because that was one of the hot cards. Ivory Masquerade, you would have had to sell that immediately. Border Soul Savage Dragon, immediately. War Legacy Guard Dragon, Appaloosa was going away. Like, a bunch of these cards were just flying off the shelves, and the reason people were selling these, that bought so much of these, is because if you invested 10,000, you're trying to make 15. So you sold majority of these cards. You really didn't make money. Well, you made some, but after taxes, shipping fees, and all that stuff, you made an adorable amount of money for all the work you put in. You probably flexed your buddies on Instagram or OnlyFans or whatever, but it didn't matter because you didn't really make money. You know who made money in this set? You know who did that? The snipers made money. They got paid. Why? Because they bought off the stupidity of those who bought sealed thinking they're going to flip it and become the Monopoly man. No, you're not the Monopoly man. You're not. The snipers are the Monopoly man. You're the boot or the dog. Let me explain. Imagine having 20 grand and going, I could buy sealed Megatins. That sounds like a good idea. Or having 20 grand going, I'm going to snipe so much of these cards, throw them into my BCW, boom, sniper case, and I'm just going to sit on them and wait because that's what's called investing. And then, fast forward to the future. That's the future noise, by the way. You just go, oh my God. The snipers getting paid. The snipers are making money. Those who speculate into the market, those who said this will still be worth money, this will be worth money, this will be worth money. I'm going to buy it all at dirt cheap prices because everybody day one release is trying to make their initial investment, and I'm trying to make more than what I initially put in. Way more. The snipers got paid. Those who bought sealed are the suckers. That's simple. With that said, there's still going to be people who hear me go, okay. Okay, I hear you, V. I hear you. Pick up their phone and go, hi, I need to be stupid and buy as much Megatins as possible. Sealed. Yeah, I just want to lose money. Yeah, money's stupid. It's heavy. Okay, it smells. Just use a stripper's underwear. I don't want that near me. Okay. And then go, V, did I do good? No. So I'm just throwing it out there. Buy singles. It's a lot smarter. And if you do buy singles, can you use my TCG player link? I'd greatly appreciate that. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Mechanites and how the fact that Mechanites are just all over the place. This market's unstable. And some people say Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever about anything negative about Yu-Gi-Oh! Being a dying card game or anything negative about Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever. The market in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is out of its mind and has continued to be out of its mind. We've seen Mechanites hit some insane prices last week. And looking at it right now, Mechanites are continuing to be, well, kind of stable, finally. Is it worth buying right now? No, it's not. Don't get me wrong, I actually kind of want to buy Mechanites now because I've been personally sleeping on them for a long time. I'm actually pretty pumped to go ahead and start picking this up, but I'm not doing it now. The prices are still insane. But I will say, the prices of Mechanites are kind of cooling down, so keep an eye on these cards. Especially Gear Suit, which was like roughly around 32, now it's down as low as 27. Then we have OTS 1 Pack 5. So we are about 2 weeks away before these prices kind of cool down even more so in the market as more people open store and throw these on the market. Even though they shouldn't because Konami store, blah, 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 whatever. They do it anyway. No big deal. So, what are we seeing here? We're seeing cards like Crystal Needle Fiber, which at one point was roughly around $90, is as low as $81, even though the market price shows it to be $88. We're seeing Orange Dragon be $42, and that's way too generous. Dark Reckoning be $37, way too generous. The value in OTS Pack 15 is really a couple of some of the super rares. Punishment's still $8. Dragon's still $6. Knock Division Dragon's still $3. Borbo's still $3. These will definitely sell easily. And the Ultimate Rares, well, they probably, the Orange Dragon, Dark Reckoning won't sell. Needle Fiber definitely will. I just want to say that it's Denko Second Day. I think every day should be Denko Second Day, and we should be damn well pleased that we're living in it. Secret Denko Second out of Battle's Legends Life's Revenge is currently with a $4 market price. The value of this card is roughly around $3 to $4. If you don't have a place at Denko Sekas at all, and you play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's like going out into war just in your boxes and just army boots. Just that with like a flag, but like a little flag. Like, what are you doing? This card's amazing. I do feel like as the meta slows down more, this card gets better. The minute we're in the meta, which is really grindy, we're not really in it fully yet, but we're getting there. The minute we're in a super grindy meta, summoning Denko Sucker against your opponent who has a multiple set back row is the greatest feeling in the entire planet. And by doing that, can actually win you the game immediately. And I do think Denko Sucker is a phenomenal card. I went to a regionals one time, played, I think I played Prankers with Denko Sucker in it. Don't ask me why, I just did. And I remember beating my opponent because I summoned Denko first, game 1 and game 2 against my opponent. And I go outside to hang out with my buddies, as we all do after the regionals, after the round's over. And he just runs outside and goes, "Who plays Denko?" Nobody ever sees this card coming, and when it hits the board, nobody's ever ready for it. They just accept it because they know it just locks them out. It's a phenomenal card. It's a card I think a lot of players should at least own a play set of. Specifically the Secret Rares, Out of Bounds Legends / Revenge, which is a good money set. If you're looking at pendulums, in general, why not Pendulum Evolution? Now, yes, I know the first thing you're going to say is, V, this should have been a structured deck. Konami banged us. That's whatever. It sucks. I agree with you. I don't like it, but that's what we're in right now. So, once again, I think these are some of the cards you might want to pick up as well. I always have to go to original print, hard to pull. Do you get a Pendulum Evolution Wizard My Magician? I personally like the structure deck version. They're both super rares, but whatever. But I do think it's time we start looking at pendulums and we start picking up pendulum cards. I might even talk about more pendulum cards in the future because I do think pendulums are definitely going to see more play moving forward into this game. So keep an eye out for it right now. And if you don't have your pendulums put to the side, what are you doing? I got literally like 2 deck boxes full of just good pendulum cards. And I'm really excited to start making these decks again. I really do miss. I miss playing pendulums. Anyone else? Is that what? Am I the only one? No, right? Like I kind of miss playing pendulums. I haven't played them in so long. I kind of miss playing them. I know some of these may go, "Oh, pendulums best deck." Whatever, dude. But like seriously, like playing them like in a competitive meta way, I think pendulums are getting there. Seriously. Then we have Scapegoat at OTS Tournament Pack 8. This card, which used to be $26 with an $86 market price, is roughly not that anymore. It's roughly around $81. Scapegoat is cooling down after it hit roughly around 100, but the cooldown price is still higher than its original $26 price point. Can anyone else, is anyone else noticing the fact that Gold format is slow? Like less and less newer players are playing Gold format due to the fact that so many cards are insanely expensive. Metamorphosis at a Champion Pack 1, which has a $640 market price, is realistically roughly around $1,000 a copy. After that one's gone, by the way, it goes to $1,500 for a super rare CP1 Metamorphosis. Here's the weird part. Whose fault is this? I think it's a mixture of the Go community's fault as well as Konami's. More Konami, I will say, but the Go community problem for gatekeeping these insanely expensive cards and holding them. And I guarantee there's people out there that play Go format, that only play Go format, that have a huge binder filled with super rare Metamorphosis. There is. The problem is when you gatekeep, you stop newer players playing. You're like, V, you know what tells newer players? To buy the common Metamorphosis. Let them eat cake, says the gatekeepers. Sure, the commons out of Pharaonic Guardian, one of the first sets in the game, is roughly around $8. You want a Dark Relation 1? No big deal. That version of the card, hold on one second. That version of the card is roughly around, well, besides that weird one, is roughly around $15 a copy. People are less and less playing Gold format because Gold format is getting harder and harder and more expensive to play. Even at cheap, which used to be the selling point of Gold format, it's just not existent anymore. Because the one card you need, Metamorphosis, at least 2 of, if you want to play Goats, period, is money. And yeah, there's alternate versions of decks. There's different tier levels of deck. But you play Go format because you initially want to play Goats in the format to try it out and see how it is. That's how everybody is. If you say, oh yeah, this guy loves Warriors, so he'll play Go format. Like, it doesn't work that way. Majority of people play Go format because they want to play the standard baseline Go deck. And then from there, branch out. That's how that works. And then what we're seeing is less and less players want to enjoy and play Gold format. Now, once again, I said this was both ends. And it's more Konami's fault because Konami has never reprinted Metamorphosis. So the commons are insanely expensive. So this is more of a Konami's fault, but it is the Go community's fault for just gatekeeping all these cards. How many Go players have you seen, and I've seen a lot, that have tons and tons of multiple copies of extra gold cards that they're not throwing back into the market? By not doing that, you're stopping more new players from getting involved in your format. Gold format might one day die. And that's a bad thing, because I really do like it. I think a lot of players like it. Unfortunately, the amount of newer players getting in are not there, and that leads time for the amount of players currently in there to leave. Now, you might say, well, those players leaving can list the cards on the market, and then that will kind of reset the cycle. Not really. Because if everybody holds and the price gets so insanely high, which I think $15 for a common is pretty insanely high, the issue is, if you sell, you'll sell at $13.99. $13.98 for the next guy that leaves. So no, it's not like you're selling the market tanks. That's not how that works. How it works is, we need to see a reprint of Metamorphosis as well as other GOAT format cards. Konami has been slowly doing it, but they need to specifically hit Metamorphosis if they want the format to stay alive. Do they? Who knows? We are seeing YuGiOh Paisono starting to play 2011 format, but I'll be honest with you, after looking into 2011 format, 2011 format is so undefined. Because when you say 2011 format, is it early 2011 format? Is it the middle 2011 format? We're like, well, near the middle 2011 format, after Nationals, I guess. Whatever. Is that the format? Or we're talking about the end 2011 format? Because those are three completely different formats. One of them, Rescue Rabbit, is one of the most broken decks in that game. Rescue Dinos, they're tier 0. They're broken. The other one, you got a mixed format of about roughly 3 decks, mixed format. And another one, well, I don't even know how to define that format fully as far as what deck really ran that format. But that format was also pretty insane. 2011 format has no structure, so we can't even point at it and go, that's the part of the format. Where with GOAT format, you just say GOAT format, I think it's what, April 2005, I believe? At least it has a structure, it has a base with an insane and erratic card market. 2011 format has a pretty open-ended card market with the non-structured base of the format. And that's kind of what's happening right now as far as the alternate formats of this game. I really, 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 really wish Konami came in and grabbed 2011 format, because there's a lot of opportunity there, and said, we're going to make this a thing with you guys. We're going to reprint structure decks of like YCS deck list and slap them in and sell them to you guys. People would buy that. They would absolutely buy that. We're going to go ahead and create sub-tournaments for playmats for this specific format. We got your back. I wish Konami would do that, and I guarantee you Konami TCG would love to ask OCG, but OCG probably won't let them let it happen, to be honest with you. Why would they want it to happen when they could keep pushing the current new format and making that money and not adding other format? Is it dumb? Yes, but I think that's what would happen. That's my guess, though. Once again, looking at, and this has been a long video, I'm sorry about that, but looking at GOAT format and looking at 2011 format, they're both decent formats on their best day. Realistically, if we don't have any structure, if we don't have anything situated fully, we can't really be excited, and the play base won't put their money, specifically, their cards, alternatively, behind this format. It's going to be a fun thing. You'll see kids playing in the back of the shop sometimes, or maybe before round one of a YCS or regionals, which eventually will start up again, happen. Then we have part of acquisitiveness. Acquisitiveness. This card I mentioned Vengeance with a $3 mark price is roughly around $4 to $5 for a super rare. Super rare. Listen, Paisanos, I know a lot of you guys out there are just debating on whether or not to buy or to sell, what to buy, what to sell, which cards and decks to play. My best answer to everybody is you go ahead, you get one deck that you really like, test online, test wherever, get one deck, and you play that deck the entire format, and you have a good time and you enjoy it. Get rid of everything else. You just don't need it. Save money and hold your collectible cards, like your Starlight rares, your Ultimate rares. Hold them together in a separate binder, or double sleeve them and put them in a nice deck box, whatever you want to do, and just wait until everything comes back. Because I know a lot of people are waiting for things to come back in the meta. I know a lot of players are kind of waiting on as far as what to do, as far as alternative metas, what to get involved in, and there's no wrong answers for any of this. Anyway, Paisanos, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It's your boy V and your Paisanos. You Paisanos have a great day.